Good evening, good morrow, and good day. This is where I check. Yes, the mic is working. Good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of Slice and Dice here with the Manylands campaign. It's been a couple of weeks since our last session, as we are back onto our regular schedule now. But we've already had some stuff going on in the chat, so I'd like to draw our attention to that straight away. Good evening, guys. Welcome to tonight's stream. So in the chat,
hello.
Thank you, Pavel, confirming that the microphone is working, and it's working splendidly. Thank you. Also, a big thank you to Pavel, who has now subscribed for 12 months. That's now a year's worth of subscribing. Pavel,
the maniac.
absolute lunatic.
Mad lad.
But thank you very much. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. And if the rest of you watching like what you see, do like Pavel, be an absolute boss and subscribe. And also hello to Should Be Studying, sending positive vibes at the beginning of today's stream. Thank you, Should Be Studying. You shouldn't be studying. You should be joining us here, studying D&D and this crazy world that our players and PCs are now inhabiting. So before we jump into today's stream, thank you, Pavel. Just don't mention it. Thanks for the streaming. You're welcome. First of all, shameless plugs. Do we have any shameless plugs? I've got a couple myself, so I'll give you guys a moment if you've got anything. So first of all, sorry, Bob. We'll come to you. I will come to you. But before we get to you, in 2 weeks' time, our next Manylands session will be our Halloween special.
Shameless plug.
Thank you, Marshall, for that. That was That was very well timed with the sound effects we had back here as well. We always do something with our Halloween special. Usually, it's dressing up. In some way, and last year, of course, because of COVID, everyone was doing things remotely, as we are now, and dressing up, and the year before that, everyone was dressed up and we're all in the same room. Well, this year, we've been talking about this in the background, and we're hoping that at least the majority of the team will be all together in one room again. That's the plan for 2 weeks' time. We'll see. I will keep you updated with how if that materializes or not for the Halloween special, but that is what we're aiming to do. Obviously, we recognize that some will have to still come in remotely because different parts of the country and all that. Looking at you, Marshall, who's actually out on the road currently. Look at these surroundings he has for himself.
Where could I be? It's a mystery.
Ooh. I mean, if anyone knows their hotel color codes, maybe they could figure it out, but which one? Who knows? So that's really exciting. Second bit of shameless plugging.
Shameless plug.
So for our The Cage campaign, we know we've had a bit of a hiatus as we're trying to sort everyone's schedules. I'm pleased to announce that we will be having another session before the end of this month. So it will mean that after our so it should be, if all goes according to schedule, after our Halloween special the following Thursday, I'll be able to release the next episode of The Cage. So it is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you need to catch up on any of the sessions so far, or the sessions so far, then go check out our YouTube channel. That's a link to that on our Twitch page. Just click the catch up icon and that'll take you straight there. You can also catch up with all of the previous episodes in the Manylands campaign. And if you don't have time for all that, we also have my roundup of sessions 71 through 75, my little 5-session chunks where I do previously in the Manylands, which will give you not only what happened in the game and what the guys uncovered, but also some of the stuff they missed and some of the other bigger themes and a couple of other little tidbits for you behind the DM screens. Go check that out. All on our YouTube channel. And then finally, from me,
we would never miss anything.
Shameless plug.
You can never miss anything. There was all the content. Everything's on YouTube. But also, you can get things on our podcast channel. And I think it was mentioned last time, but our Baldoa series is now... I've just in the process of recording the 3rd chapter of the Baldoa podcast. The second chapter has just begun on artwork for that by our lovely Gerald Dareth, who's doing the art for that. And if you want to support him and Evil Owl Loki, who did our character art for Baldoa, please do so, and you can do so by becoming a Patreon. By becoming a patron on our Patreon. Our Patreon, there's a link to that also on our Twitch page. The Patreon exclusively is for paying the artists for the work that they're doing, because it's fantastic stuff, and they should be paid accordingly. And I'm not made of money, so I can't do it. But with your help, it really will go a long way with supporting these guys and their fantastic craft. So there's a link to our Patreon also on our Twitch page. All the links are on the Twitch page. Just click away, link to your heart's content. And check out more about that. In fact, I did a Patreon update on our Patreon page only today, so go check that out, and I'll give you all the latest. So that's quite enough shameless plugging from me, guys. In shameless plugs.
So I don't know if shameless plug is quite how I would describe this. I mean, I guess it is. It's just not. It's not plugging anything that I have done. But it is plugging something I've recently received, which I would like to show to you all. Now, I think it's probably a reasonable assumption that anyone interested in Slice and Dice has at least a passing interest in polyhedrons that are used to generate... That is terrifying, Marshall.
Maintain
Please
that
stop.
Yeah,
that's...
Polyhedrons, you say?
I know, yeah, sorry, I'm aware I'm speaking directly to a very personal set of interests for you. So... Any self-respecting nerd will very probably have a number of polyhedrons for the generation of random numbers. However, the eternal challenge, what to do with them when not currently using them to generate random numbers? Most of us will have some kind of bag, but very few of us will have a bag as shiny as this one I hold in my hands. Ooh. Because the thing that's really tasty about this bag, I'm really going to struggle to show you guys on the stream because it involves a lot of moving things around, but I will do my best. Can we see? Yes. We can sort of see. Yeah. Okay. So the deal with these bags is that they have compartments inside, which means that you can. It makes it no longer will you have to go right. Where's the? I need a D4. Oh God, where's the D4? How do I? No. You just go. Well, here's the D4 compartment, and inside are all of my D4s. You can also arrange by color if that is your thing, or by some other much more insane sorting method that you personally might choose. Any of these options are available to you if you pick up one of these fine bags. They are available from Card King Pro, all one word, cardkingpro.co.uk, and they are bloody amazing. You can get them for £25 in a variety of colours. They do not currently have burnt orange or purple, but I bet you anything they will. They do have pink, and I'm slightly annoyed that I don't currently have hot pink, but... Regardless, they have a bunch of these bags. They're amazing. If people buy more of these bags, they presumably will make more of them. I cannot recommend enough. A friend of mine has had one of these for a long time, and I've been super jealous. And now I have one, and I am as happy as could possibly be. So there you are.
Mr. Bart.
Yes, Mr. Bart.
Perhaps if you dropped in the chat the link.
Oh, yes.
That is a pro move right there.
Link incoming.
Thank you, Chatmaster.
2, 1.
Pro brain. Do the brain thing.
There we go.
Get in there. We're not sponsored in any way. We should be, but that has not happened. But nevertheless, hey, maybe we can swing something. But regardless, get in there. They're amazing. I cannot recommend them enough.
No, I mean, we love all things nerdy and all things TTRPG, and that very much fits into that groove. So, plug away. Thank you for that, Bart. And of course,
shameless plug.
So I was just doing another shameless plug sound effect. If I'm wondering what the pause was, because the guys can't actually hear that. Only you over the stream can hear it, unfortunately. But anyway,
because you're special.
Because you guys are special. You really are. So we should also, Bart. Now, was that a birthday present, Bart, for you?
It was, yes.
Yes, because I mentioned last time, but it was Bart's birthday. Happy birthday, Bart. We won't ask how old you are. It's fine, but it's yes, but still.
Who? I am too old.
Aha! Clever. Yes, thank you for that. And next time, I was hoping to have a new a new promo offer on our merch store for this week. However, I discovered today that we're having some issues with the merch store currently. I can't seem to log on to it, which is a real problem. So hopefully that'll be fixed in time for the Halloween special. So I will move that promo thing until the next session. But keep your eyes open for that, because I may well launch it early on our social media. So if you're not following us already, it's at slice&d6 on pretty much any social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those guys. We're all over there. Yeah, make sure you're following us already, so you'll be first to hear about that new promo offer on our merch store. And I've got a couple of new designs for some new lines coming in light of some of our recent adventures. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that. Anyway, that's quite enough shameless plugging.
Shameless plug!
So let's, without any further ado, let's drop into Herthir and pick things up with our party here in the Manylands campaign on Slice and Dice. And we are back. So, guys, last time in the Manylands campaign, so whilst most of the group decided after cashing out at Caladan's casino to head on to find some place to stay for the night, as the general consensus was we didn't want to stay in the palace at the king's invitation because of the anti-magic field that's in place across the palace, and there probably are other reasons, but that seemed to be the one that stuck out to me in your discussion. Leaving Brukon behind to gamble away the evening, and we will catch up with Brukon to find out exactly how he did. But the croupier at the one of them at the hotel, at the casino, recommended a hotel that was attached to the casino in Caladan's, but obviously you guys weren't very interested in spending more money at Caladan's place or anything owned by Caladan Lambold, the self-titled richest guy in Richir. So you also recommended a place in the Gold District, but it was noted the Gold District is very expensive. And you discovered this when you headed to Gold Dreams, as recommended, a spa and luxury hotel. When you found your way there, on your way there, should I say, you came across a figure which Brukon would have recognised as Dudra Denish, one of the clan heads and member of the Dragon Council. However, the rest of the party weren't as familiar with Dudra Denish, and so they introduced themselves and were trying to persuade the party to purchase tickets for the maiden voyage of their new pleasure vessel that was due to depart for a cruise around the Green Lake in a few days' time. However, the party were not particularly interested in that, least of all Neris, who had had quite enough of Dragonborn and people threatening to kill her for one day or even for a lifetime. And so you guys kind of brushed off Dudra Denish and continued on your way to the Gold District. When you got there, you found Gold Dreams is incredibly expensive and too rich even for you guys, despite the winnings that you have obtained for yourself. In fact, the spa treatments and so on were tempting, but as yet you guys have not partaken in any of that. Instead, looking for elsewhere to spend the night, and also you were recommended a bank to go to deposit some of your money, because carrying around a lot of money in some of the poorer districts of Herthir is not recommended for obvious reasons. So you go to a bank that's called Black and Gold's, and find a dwarf there, surprisingly, because it's the Dragonborn Kingdom. Mostly you've been dealing with Dragonborn and some kobolds, so it was interesting to see a familiar Burikrin-like face. His name was Cherald, and with him you opened up a bank account with a lifetime membership of Black and Gold's for a one-off fee, which also had the benefit of giving you a very cheap transfer rate exchange rate, for changing your Burikrin coins into Rachiri dragons, should you choose to. So most of you deposited most of your cash in Burikrin gold pieces into your vault, and kept your loose change and converted that into Rachiri dragons, is what I understood. You guys agreed to. You did your own sort of combinations of that, but that is essentially what we've done. And from there, Cherald recommended going to the Bronze District for somewhere that's indicative of Rachiri culture, but also it's kind of the industrial heart of Herthir. It's a sort of the earth, a much more grounded experience for you. So you'll get some authentic Rachiri culture, but also it'll be quite cheap by comparison to the Gold District. He recommended an inn called Bronze Allergy, not to be confused with having an allergy to bronze. You headed from the Gold District over to there, and found it was as Cherald had described. It seemed, for Rachir, it seemed to be quite lively, although your experience of an inn in Burikrin compared to an inn in Rachiri inns are a bit more muted in their sort of liveliness compared to Burikrin. But nevertheless, with your resident draconic speaker Neris talking to the bar person and shouting 5 repeatedly, you managed to secure 6 rooms along with 5 shots of Cinnamon Surprise, one of the Rachiri spirits, 4 for the party there, as Malar was not partaking, he was only drinking water, and a 5th one reserved for Brukon for when he arrives at at Bronze Allergy, because Leobrin has also sent a message to Brukon to tell him that is where you guys are staying. And Brukon did, in fact, respond, although he seemed a bit preoccupied with what he was doing at the table. Now, speaking of being preoccupied, Seth has a load of casino chips on him, which could not be put into the bank and could not be transferred, because Caladan is very specific that his casino chips cannot be exchanged outside of Caladan's. How casinos operate, unfortunately. So Seth has kept the money on him, but he found while he was at the bar that a sneaky kobold nicked the bag of chips and started to make his escape out of the tavern. Seth gave chase, rounded a corner, was about to eldritch blast the kobold when a figure in a cloak head to foot and a counterspelled, stopping the eldritch blast before Seth realised this was in fact the Cloaked Man, somebody that Seth has met before. In fact, it was the Cloaked Man who Seth had some history with, and hence why he was in Burikrin in the first place, though this information I don't think has been revealed to the party as such. Anyway, this Cloaked Man, recognising he was meant to meet with Seth anyway, then Dimension Doors Seth away from the current area as Neris was about to close in, and Seth needed a bit of privacy away from the rest of the party to do his not shady at all dealings. And that is where we pick things up today with the rest of the party. After Neris spotted the portal being the portal of the Dimension Door closing, the vortex kind of closing, reported back to the rest of you on what has happened. And after Brina explaining that this is quite possibly a Dimension Door spell that requires both participants to be willing, the rest of the party didn't seem too worried about Seth. And so I just wanted to check in with the bulk of the party, although that's now Leobrin and Malar tonight. Neris is present, obviously, and Brina, but I will be playing those. What did you guys want to do? Did you want to hang around, staying up for Seth, or were you just planning on going to bed?
Malar was gonna go to bed. He knows that Seth knows how to look after himself.
Yeah, that sounds good. Brina will do likewise, seeing Malar going up. They'll be like, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Oh, God. Yeah. We were... Leobrin's already... There's no way of us tracking Seth down with a dimension door in a random direction that we didn't see happen.
Yeah, not through normal means.
Is rough. So yeah. Seth knows where we are.
Yeah, and Brukon knows where you are.
Brukon knows where we are. It's fine. It's fine. We'll sleep, I'm sure. We'll sleep a very comfortable, normal night, knowing that one of our friends is out gambling the night away and the other one has vanished to parts unknown. It's fine.
Neris just nods, says, yep, that seems pretty normal.
Okay, well, good. Yes. I suppose you did come back after repeated vanishings. Good night.
Night. Neris also takes her leave, heads to her room as well. Although she goes, you spot Leobrin that she does go up to the barkeep first and seems to be speaking in Draconic to him and hands over 2 of the keys.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed.
So meanwhile, Mr. Brukon, you've been having quite the evening in Caladan's casino. And first of all, as discussed out of session, you hit the roulette table. You hit it pretty hard. But are you hitting odds or evens?
Oh, is Brukon an odds guy or an evens guy? This is the question before us.
Which way does the balance go?
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Ooh. So, I think Brukon's going to go odds, and I'll tell you for why.
Okay.
The kind of the symbolism of the balance, as Brukon has seen it so far, has been heavy on scales, and of course with the scale you have one point at either end and then a fulcrum point in the middle. So that implies an oddity on its own because you've got one on either end, and it's very rare. I don't think Brukon has ever seen these kind of figurative scales, fully equal. There's always been one side that's been more, one side's been lower than the other, and yeah, I think in general, like Brukon's is a bit of an oddball, always has been. So I think Brukon identifies more strongly with odds, and so that is what he is going to go for on the roulette table.
All right, so he places his chips down on odds on the roulette. The wheel spins, the ball thrown in. I did percentile dice. Unfortunately, it's 86. It's even.
86.
It's even. So unfortunately, Brukon loses his loses what chips he was betting on roulette. He does not do so well at roulette. But Brukon, you've had a few drinks. You are determined that you're determined that this is your night. You've been lucky all day. You beat a bloody Hydra, despite almost face planting when you try to punch it midair. You're feeling lucky. All things considered, can you make a Constitution check for me to see if the alcohol is having an effect on you?
I absolutely can do that. Yeah, there's no difference. Okay, here we go. That is... Fuck.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That is a natural one.
Oh, boy. Oh, dear. So, so after...
All the things I thought might happen now have been completely thrown out of the window as a result of that result. Oh, shit.
After the third or fourth loss in a row at the roulette table, Brukon is starting to kind of slump over the counter. And in fact...
I mean, point of order, one thing I will say
Yeah.
is that Brukon has played roulette before, quite a bit. And he knows that the joy of roulette is not... Like, winning is obviously great, but the reason, most people playing roulette lose. If you have ever played roulette before, you know going in that you're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
The joy of roulette is, it's not a kind of like, oh no, I'm losing. The whole point is like, I'm losing. Okay. But then every now and again you win and everything's gravy. So so while I absolutely, I obviously can't argue my way out of a natural one on a Constitution saving throw, I will say that whatever else is going on with Brukon, he's not in the depths of despair because he's losing roulette. Because he's
you're
played
definitely not in despair.
plenty of roulette and lost.
You know that your numbers will come up eventually. Like, it's only a matter of time. So you're not downhearted.
Sure.
You are, however, taking in the atmosphere. The roulette is quite a social table, so there's a lot of people, chatting away to themselves and casually throwing chips in and all the rest of it. But your drinks just keep getting refilled. It seems like some of the patrons there recognise you as one of the pit champions, and you're just knocking them back and starting to sway,
Danger, Will Robinson.
tipsy sway your way around until you slip off your stool and decide that is your cue to move on to something else. And lo and behold, you see some card tables ahead of you. There are some games you don't seem to recognise, but you do recognise Gwen, which is far more tactical, probably not something that you're into right now. You want something that's a bit more, as we discussed, that's a bit more chance-based, and you do see Black Dragon, which you recognise, nice and easy, just got to get to 21. We can do that.
I will say this. Brukon would not have gone for it. When you offered me Dragon Speed Chess, it took every fibre of my being not to go Dragon Speed Chess.
Speed Chess, let's go. Speed Dragon Chess,
I
yes.
absolutely want that in. But no. But point of order, one day I must know about Dragon Speed Chess. What the hell is that?
Well, yes, one day we shall explore that for sure.
One day. Anyway.
It's the Queen's Gambit, but the Dragon's Gambit. That's the basic premise.
Right.
Okay, so the Black Dragon table catches your eye. Brukon, in his frat boy days, has some experience with cards. Perhaps not counting the cards as such, but certainly you know how to play a good hand. And this is just the sort of low intensity but high reward kind of table that you'd like to play at. So you note, because after the croupier at the table describes, is speaking in Draconic, notices you looking rather vaguely and kind of misty-eyed, and not misty-eyed, sorry, somewhat glazed expression looking at them, that then speaks very slowly in common that I will stop on 17. Okay. So Brukon, if you like to gamble away at the Black Dragon table. Now, this will be... I mean, it's mostly luck-based, but it's the wisdom of being able to know when to stop, when to call and say, stick. So I need you to make a wisdom check, but you can add your proficiency with card games because Brukon is proficient. However, you have disadvantage because you are drunk, and so you're not as wise as you normally are. Yeah.
This is all extremely fair. I don't think I've got any other tricks I can pull on this one. I mean, it's a casino. I was just wondering about trying some sort of slight hand nonsense, but it's such a terrible idea. Oh, the singing bowl, that would have been a great idea. Never mind. Okay, wisdom save plus wisdom roll plus
wisdom
proficiency.
Check plus proficiency at disadvantage.
But with disadvantage. Here we go. No, I missed the tray with one of those. Okay. And annoyingly, the first one was a 15, and then the second one was not as good as 15 on the dice. I should say, and the second one was not as good as that. But it's not terrible. If we're adding proficiency as well, I believe proficiency bonus right now is +3.
Yes, that's right.
At this level. So that means that Brukon got a 14.
Okay, with a 14. You don't do exceedingly well at the blackjack table. However, it's a miniature win because you come away from the Black Dragon table basically when the casino is starting to turn out in the early hours of the morning, with basically the same amount of chips as you went into at Black Dragon. So you lost everything at roulette, but Black Dragon, you've sustained the amount. So I think you have 40% of your chips left.
Yeah.
So not entirely a bad evening.
Net draw.
A net draw.
and
However,
I mean, given how I rolled on the Constitution saving throw, in terms of how the evening is going, I think Brukon's having a good time.
Yeah.
I think Brukon is having too good a time.
In fact, it's such
even if the money
so good a
situation's
time.
not
From an outside perspective, it appears that two of the croupiers are kind of shepherding at you as parents would do to a toddler over to the cash out desk. There you go.
There we go.
You can change your chips to money now. Congratulations.
Brukon just dangling between these two guys. Thank you. This is splendid. I'm a huge fan of all of your work. The service here is magnificent, and I love it.
Could you
change the Brukon. Yeah, Brukon. Brukon will give them both a healthy tip. We'll say each of them will get 2.5% each of Brukon's remaining chips as tip.
Right.
So he loses another 5% total.
They're very, very thankful. Thank you, Mr. Brukon. It's most
Yeah,
generous.
You've already told me how many of these things he's got, so I can actually do the calculations myself here.
Yes.
Where did they
I don't
go?
want to do it.
Gambling chip. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'll make a note and then do the maths in it.
You can clear it up.
No worries.
So yes, you are cash out. So they, as Caladan indicated, there is no exchange rate for the chips. They will be converted back into the Richiri dragons with no levy on that. So nice and easy. So you retain your winnings, and it also means you now have some Richiri dragons, which is going to be useful in Richir. Eventually, during the evening, you got your message from Leobrin, so you know that they're staying at Bronze Allergy, but you were in the middle of your cold streak at the roulette table when that came up, so hence you were a bit distracted. But yes, so you can make your way over to the Bronze sector, which Brukon hasn't been to yet. You've been past it, so I'm going to need you to make a history check. Now, because you're drunk, you're still going to have disadvantage on this.
That seems extremely fair. Okay, Histoire. Okay, not a great bonus. Let's see how Brukon. Okay, 10.
10. You're like, oh no, it's by the pit. Oh no, the pit. Yes, in the middle. And you just toddle off towards the pit and spend a few minutes observing the pit. When you get there, and go, that's where it was. Yes, and recall. Oh yeah, I remember we were here this morning. Is that the time? And then eventually, getting distracted many times, you make your way over to the Bronze sector, which you can see. You can see the smoke pluming from it before you actually see the buildings of the Bronze sector. But it is the industrial heart. It's the buildings are a lot more functional than practical. They're not for show as some of the ones, particularly in the Gold District, and quite a lot of the Blue District are a bit more flashy in their design. These are much more practical. And you make your way through there, eventually at about 3 o'clock in the morning, finding Bronze Allergy, which appears to be very quiet and empty at this time. But there is one very grumpy-looking dragonborn behind the bar.
Brukon wobbles up and goes, Barkeep, find a pint of your finest stuff.
He just he pulls out a key and says, "You are Brukon, yes?"
That's me.
We'll stop serving. Have you go to bed. Just gives you the key.
Oh, all right. Are you sure? If you started serving, then you would have started serving, and then you wouldn't have stopped anymore.
Go to bed.
I'm going to make a wisdom check, and I'm going to make it with disadvantage.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to make a wisdom. Technically, it's a saving throw. Let's see how good Brukon's decision making is right now. Oh, it was close to being surprisingly good, but it's not great. Brukon is gonna. I'm not gonna go completely like hog wild on this, but Brukon is gonna have another go, and he pulls out. I haven't yet figured out how much money he's got left because we're doing the thing, but let's say another 5% of his remaining sum, and holds it out to the guy.
Let's say you pull up a couple of jade dragons because that's more than enough.
Sure, yeah, okay. He pulls out some jade dragon, and he's not coherent enough to like select a specific amount. Yeah, he grabs some jade dragons, holds them out to the guy, and goes, "Well, you sure I've got jade dragons here that will probably change your mind."
Can you make a persuasion check, please?
I can. Am I doing it with disadvantage or no?
Yes, with disadvantage, because you stink right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Okay.
Disadvantage not cancelled out by the pure amount of the money?
To be fair, we kind of settled on it not being a completely insane sum.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. 8 is what Brukon came away with there. That was a terrible roll. I rolled a 3 and a 4.
It's better than the insight I rolled for for the barkeep. So he considers this. I will send a bottle up to your room of what would you like?
Oh, what's that stuff I was drinking? I'm going full Rowley Birkin QC now. Poisonous monkey. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what the stuff was called. The stuff Brukon was drinking with Drez.
Oh, yeah. That was the Dragonfire or the Spitfire, one of the two.
Yeah, Spitfire.
Go with the I think it was the Dragonfire.
Dragonfire, they're pretty draconic. These people, aren't they?
The dragons are their thing, definitely. The Dragonborn Kingdom, very much into dragons. Yes.
Sure. Okay. Brukon answers. A bottle of your finest Dragonfire, please.
Okay. And he takes the coin. I will send it to your room. It is that way.
You're a good dragon. Thank you. Good night. And Brukon toddles off in the approximate direction of his room.
Okay. Excellent.
And then 9 or so attempts to open the door, but he gets there eventually. Again, there's a certain amount of muscle memory. This is not the first time this has happened to Brukon.
Yes.
And then walks into the room, doesn't even look to see if there's a bed, never mind trying to get into it, just walks forward until he strikes something, and then either forward or backward, whichever direction has the most space around him, and just spark out.
Yep. We will pick that up when Brukon wakes up in the morning. But
meanwhile,
yes.
I am going to do some more maths.
Excellent. Yes, but it takes 4 attempts to get the key into the lock, and then another 4 attempts to realise that it's a push door, not a pull door. Anyway, you eventually get inside and end up on some kind of surface, Sparko. Now, Brukon got in at a very early hour in the morning. He would not have known what has happened with the rest of the party, including Seth at this point. And so we're going to rewind time a little bit to Seth, who has been not abducted, has gone along with the Cloaked Man to an unknown location. Seth, you are inside a building. It appears to be a small stone structure. There are no windows where you currently are, and given that it's quite a low ceiling here, you gather you may be in a basement of some kind. It is lit dimly in here. There is just yourself and the Cloaked Man, and there is a small table and chairs, but there are various chests and barrels and the like. It seems to be some kind of storage area where you are currently.
Well, I didn't know you were going to teleport me. Shit.
Is this going to be a problem?
One of my party saw, and then she'll tell the others, and they all care about me a lot, so they'll definitely come looking. But no, I just have to try and think of an explanation as to why I teleported randomly.
This does
I'll
not
think of something.
This does not have to take long.
She saw you. She saw me teleport. That's not normal.
Depends how magically inclined your friends are, but I'm sure you can figure something out. You have many skills, and I'm sure diplomacy is one of them.
Yes, I frequently use that.
Speaking of
But
your
good
skills,
to see you again.
And thank you for the delivery of basilisk parts. We received it from the Tabaxi Burns, was it?
Glad it got there. Yeah, delivering parts is a lot more difficult than just killing people in towns. So that actually having to deliver parts took a lot longer.
Yes, regrettably, such large transfers can't be done so quickly, at least not by most peoples. But it is good that you have this resource to hand. You are a resourceful individual, Seth. That's one of the reasons I chose you for the mission in the first place. And plus your thirst for wanting to find bigger and better game to pit yourself against. Now, speaking of which, I believe you have the egg.
Yes, I've got the egg for you here, and I hand him the basilisk egg. But get out of the sack that I've been carrying with me now for like a month.
Takes the egg, and though the cloaked, you don't distinguish any features from the cloaked person because of their mask. You do see below the mask the eyes go wide, looking at the egg, and the hand starts to stroke it a little bit, just examining and feeling kind of a bit of a warmth there. Yes, very good. This shall be very useful indeed. Now, thank you for this. An unexpected bonus. You were promised a reward, and I believe I have such compensation for you, but I also have another target, if you were so inclined to hunt another monster.
Definitely of interest, but I was wondering for the reward for the hunting the monster, and if I could get something in advance.
Very good, Seth. Yes. Well,
but what I wanted for this one was information.
Oh. Well, go ahead. What would you like to know?
Well, a few weeks ago, did you get a message that I asked the cleric I'm traveling with to send to you? He's never met you before, so I'm not sure if it had gone through. Bad reception and stuff.
I did not receive a correspondence from anyone who identified themselves as a cleric that knows you.
That's fine. We've been having difficulties with a group from the Red Mages with someone named Damon.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering if you could look into them for me to try and find some information. They're a target of ours.
They are not... we have heard of the Red Mages, yes. We have not worked with the Red Mages, but that's not to say that we couldn't find out more information. That's one of the things that we can do in our ways. In fact, it's one of the many skills that our agents have. If communication were to be an issue, I believe one of the rewards I have for you will rectify such communication issues in the future.
I fail to hide my excitement. I don't want it a thing or a magic thing.
Your excitement is heartening, Seth. So, first of all, for the... I have some gold and potions for you as a reward for the basilisk parts. He hands over... He goes over to a chest, flicks it open. You note it takes a little while to open. There appears to be 3 locks on this chest. Opens it. Pulls out a sack, which seems sort of maybe this big, It's not the biggest of things, but you can tell it's full of coin, and he hands it over to you. It is in Richiri Dragons, being where you are now. There should be 1,000 bronze dragons there.
Perfect.
And in addition to that, these potions. Now, sometimes an occupational hazard, you can get into a few scrapes. There are a couple of healing potions there, stronger than your average healing potions. I'm sure they will be of use. So there are 2 great healing potions there. And also, these 2 are a bit more to your liking. You can coat your weapons in these particular vials. One of them is a potent poison, whilst the other is a gift that we have concocted from the basilisk remains. It is experimental. We have not. You will be. It is a prototype, if you like, but may you make good use of it.
What does that one do?
We hope that it will have a similar effect to when the basilisk lays eyes on its target. That when you strike a creature and with a weapon coated in this particular decoction, that it will petrify the target. That is the hope, but you will be the first to try it out. It may not work.
I will let you know how this one works.
Excellent. Now, as for your most important prize, I'm afraid it is already in the possession of one of your group. It seems one of our agents run afoul of your group in an earlier contract. They were assigned by a client who I, of course, cannot name, for it is part of the code of the Guild of the Many Masks, but I cannot reveal the client. But they were assigned to Rackfell Manor. Unfortunately, they were killed by your group, and they had a mask.
The guy with the double-headed dog.
Yes, the very same. He had a mask, as all our agents do. The Gilded Vizard. I believe that your group are still in possession of this item. It is yours to do with as
our
you
warlock
will.
has that.
You can use this
with
item.
That mask, I can contact you?
You can contact me directly, yes. You just speak into the mask and ask for the Vizier.
Excellent to know. That would be very useful for future.
Other agents can also communicate with each other. The entire network of the guild can contact each other through the use of the masks. We also can be communed with directly by the many-faced god themselves.
Can I, for that mask, do you need to be attuned to it to speak to other agents?
Oh yes.
And if you're unaware of the communication and you're attuned to it, can you just hear other people's things? Let's say it's in the hands of one of my party. So would he just hear random conversations between people?
You cannot hear conversations between people. No, you have to request who you are speaking to. Hence, you have to address the Vizier in order to contact me.
Fantastic. I'll remember that.
The same does not go for the many-faced god, however. They can contact whoever they wish. They are a god, after all. Perhaps they have spoken to your friend.
I know someone's spoken to him. You keep finding a couple magical items which speak to us, so he was a bit disconcerted, but I don't think he's spoken to anyone since.
Interesting. That is very interesting. Well, anyway, that item is yours, as I will take it that upon you accepting this gift, that you will also accept to be a member of the guild.
If it helps with getting information and more contracts in future.
Oh yes, it
will. No problem.
Then we are agreed. Your next contract, Seth. This particular creature, we do not know the exact location of, but we have heard rumours of it throughout Herthia. It is abundantly clear. that this particular creature may have been harnessed by the monarchy of Richir of Herthia. We believe that somewhere in the catacombs underneath the palace, this creature dwells. This particular creature has the ability to create an anti-magic field from its very being. We believe this particular power has been harnessed by the palace itself. This is a power that would be very powerful in the right hands and would be very useful to our organization.
Do you need me to find out where it is, or do you actually want me to kill it?
Oh, Seth.
That one may be...
It would be a waste of your skills not to... It would be a waste of your skills only to find the creature. No, I believe if you are as adept at monster hunting as your previous contracts have shown, you would of course be wanting to destroy the creature, yes, and take its great eye.
So you just need the eye of it?
Yes, the great eye, the big eye. It has several eyes, smaller ones, but the large eye in the middle, that is the one that we require.
Let's jump in for a moment. Oh, shit!
Meta knowledge, you guys are like, what?
Considering this one is protected by a monarchy who just realized that we're not spies, it may be a bit difficult. I'll try, but for this one, I can't make a guarantee.
Perhaps, well, Seth, I'm sure that the Vizard will aid you in this also, for it gives you the ability to change your appearance at will.
Okay, I'm not sure I'll be able to separate from the party. There'll be... I'll try and figure out a way for them to help me with this monster as well. But
oh yes,
I will try as hard as I can to get it. But and I'll let you know when it's done.
Oh yes, use whatever tools you have at your disposal, that being maybe the abundance of weapons that you carry on yourself, or in fact the people that you surround yourself with. Whatever you need, make use of it. The eye is all we require.
I'll try. Before we part again, I wanted some information from Damon, but there's actually someone in town I need information on as well.
Oh yes.
The Crown are looking for a spy. So if we want to get into the Crown to find that creature, it'd be good to get on their good side. We have a lead on him, who we think is one of their captain of the guards, who stole a very, very important dragon dagger, and I'm going to use minor illusion to create the dagger. We may go and ask the king about this, but if you can find the location of where this person will be alone, me and my party will have a few questions for him. So if you can get me information about where he'll be, me and my party can take him out and get the dagger back.
Very well. I shall contact one of my agents, and we will get this individual, this captain, alone, so that you may do what you will with him.
I'm going to cast Silent Image to make a picture of him, of the guy.
Yes. One of the Royal Guard by his armour, yes.
Yes. And for payment for it, I've got 2 gifts, and I'm going to give him the wine that's infected with werewolf venom or blood.
Okay.
So I'm going to give him this. So this, I think it was one of the things your assassin was using, but you can use it to turn someone into a werewolf. So if there's a target that you need to take care of, you can get other people to take care of them by just making them the werewolf.
This may be useful for one of our clients. I may have use for this.
And from that same mansion, I'm going to cast Silent Image. There was a painting that could steal souls in the mansion. We took it, but it was too large to transport, so we buried it in the garden. And I'm going to show him where we buried it with Silent Image. So again, you need a picture. Literally just send someone a picture to kill them. then you've got this one as well.
Why, thank you, Seth. That is a lot of information. Very useful indeed. So useful, in fact, that I feel that I should repay you with a little information yourself. You may be wondering, perhaps you have not, about back home on the islands where you came from.
Not been there for years.
So you have no idea how your cousin is doing?
Is she okay?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine for now, yes. We've been keeping an eye on her.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Keep forgetting my insight is +0. Shit, 8.
There's very little facial expressions to read, obviously, but from his tone, he seems to be, reassuring you that she's fine. She's being looked after. She's being watched over. You don't detect any ill intent by his words with that insight check, unfortunately.
Well, if anything happens to her, let me know immediately. And don't try and recruit her.
Oh. Well, okay. She was, her aspirations did not seem to be anything to do with our particular organisation, unlike yourself. She seemed to be wanting to work for the local militia. I believe she's doing quite well.
Hey, that's good. Glad to hear that then.
Let's hope it stays that way, if this stories about the Red Mages are true. But we can keep an eye on her.
Was there anything else?
No, that is all for now. I can, of course, key in the chat. Jack is being super sus. Thank you.
Yeah, super sus, but fucking
The Cloaked Man, who hasn't even given their real... Or the Vizier. I'm sure they're fine. That's not sus. I can take you back to the alleyway we met, or wherever you'd like to go within a certain radius.
Yeah, that'd be good to take you back there. Before you do, there's a member of my party who can literally make you tell the truth. So, can you repeat these lines back to me, please?
Yes.
So to say, I didn't know you were in that town. I was glad to just run into you.
I didn't know you were in that town. I just was lucky to run into you.
And I thought the half-elf was chasing you, so I made a quick escape to check.
And I thought somebody was chasing you, so I decided to get you out of there quickly. Is it okay that I paraphrased?
That's it. And last one, I swear.
Okay.
We knew you. We had a vague idea of where you were from your cleric's message.
Very good. We had an idea of where you were from your cleric's message.
Perfect. That should cover me from any truth bombs.
It sounds most amusing. I wish I was there to observe it. Well, if you're wearing the mask, I suppose I could, in a sense.
Well, hopefully they won't have too many questions. They're probably out searching for me right now. You know, people just teleporting isn't a normal thing. They've probably all gone out to look.
Nor is flying, yet I'm aware of some of your party who can do that, including the Loxodon, surprisingly.
Yeah, he's only done that. Wait, how do you know that?
Oh, we know many things, Seth. We have eyes everywhere.
I just muttered to myself, so many people watching.
Oh, yes. Always. You're never really alone, you know.
And on that cheery note, I'm going to stick my hand out to shake his hand and say, can you take me back to the alleyway?
Certainly. The vortex forms. You appear back in the alleyway with the Cloaked Man. It is a bit later in the evening. The alleyway is quiet. You can hear some of the patrons inside the inn, though, are still going. It's about sort of 11 p.m., so it's getting later on, but people are still active. And this individual nods to you and says, "Well, that is the last of that resource for today. Good luck in your mission, Seth, and we shall be in touch." And immediately his features start to change, or their features start to change, until appearing before you is a 6.5-foot dragonborn in a leather apron. Appears to be just a regular bronze dragonborn working in the bronze sector. And then nods to you before turning and walking away down the alleyway.
I do a quick look around for Neris or my very worried party looking for me in the area.
Okay, you can make a perception check. Or investigation, your choice.
That's 18 total.
18, all right. No sign of the party in the inn or outside, indeed. It don't seem to be anywhere. This is from you looking around whilst outside the inn. I'm going to assume you haven't gone in to actually, thoroughly investigate.
No,
but out here, no sign of them.
Well, I mean, there must be. There's got to be a fuss somewhere because one of their party went missing. So I just, take a look around.
Sure, yeah.
It's surprised there's no one outside. Gonna head into the bar.
Okay. There's still quite a few patrons in here. There is the surly-looking barkeep, again in a leather apron, kind of similar to the Cloaked Man when he transformed, but prominent bronze scales on his hands, which are resting on some rather large biceps, and just kind of nods over to you.
I'm gonna go to him and say, "Have you seen my party?"
Yes.
Where are they? Where have they gone looking?
Bed.
They went to bed.
Ah.
It's been like 10 minutes and they just went to bed.
They left key for you. He places it on the counter.
Those fucking... Thank you. I'm going to take the key and I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to cast a message and I'm going to point to one of the walls and I'm going to target Neris and just go, "You fucking just went to bed." And then I'm going to do the same and I'm going to cast a message to all of them and just go, "You fucking went to bed."
All right, so I'm going to roll percentile dice because you're messaging, but you don't know if they're there, so it's potluck if you actually get the right person.
Don't care where they are. I'm just going pissed off, sending messages everywhere.
Just message,
Like sending a group text going, "You fuckers left me at the pub."
Okay, one message you actually get a response from. "Oh, Seth, it's fine. Neris described it and said it was and said it was a dimension door, so that's a willing spell. So we knew you'd gone with somebody you knew."
I'm going to message back, just go, "Oh wait, where did I point for her?"
Yes, because this wasn't the last one, so it's like
Yeah.
you can make a history check and see if you can remember which one was Brina.
12.
No. I don't know. You can randomly point and try again, and I'll percentile dice it.
No.
No.
So I'm just going to go to
No.
bed.
You go to bed on that note, bitterly disappointed. Now, so now you've all gone to bed and are resting up for the evening, and it's modest accommodation you're in here. Nothing too fancy, but it's a comfortable night's sleep for all of you. That being said, Leobrin, you feel throughout the night, when you wake up, you still feel tired, but you feel like butter scraped over too much bread. You feel thin. Thank you. Reference. I need you to roll a d20, please.
Okay.
Just a straight d20. Tell me what you get.
Well, I cannot. 17. 1-7.
17. So in your dreams in the night, you see visions of the Feywild. You see Lady Aranth there, your patron, and we're not sure what label to put on it, but her, a significant individual, a romantic interest perhaps, who she is in bloom. She is now showing a bit of her pregnant belly, and she seems to be lying on a chaise lounge in a kind of in a very theatrical manner, almost as if she's staring into the middle distance, wondering what's going to happen. And you're seeing this from above. It's cinematic, you might say, but you feel yourself being pulled away from this image, and she's just getting further and further away from you. You feel that your connection to the Feywild is diminishing over time. With the channeling some inner will of arcanic energy in yourself, you retain your spell slots. However, each short rest and long rest, you will need to roll a d20. And if you roll below a 10, so if you roll 9 or below, you'll be reduced to 1 spell slot for that until the next short rest.
I mean, who could possibly anticipate Marshall rolling low on a 20-sided dice?
Yes. Hey, it's not a D8. I'm fine.
This is true. So it seemed, your connections. You've felt this for a while, that there's been this sort of pulling away, and it seems now you've hit another stage in your connection being taken from Lady Aranth. And the last thing you see in this dream, as you're being pulled away from her, is that you feel this kind of darkness encroaching around your vision, until you can just faintly see Lady Aranth in the aperture, I guess, what's left of the aperture. And you hear the laugh of, it seems like some kind of crone. And then you wake up, feeling thin and a little bit pasty. But you have maintained, you've still got your 2 spell slots for this short rest. You're good. Everyone else, relatively peaceful night's sleep. Seth, you you are visited in your dream by the voice, who seems very intrigued by this evening's events. He goes, "Oh, what a rough sea you may have ahead of you, Seth. A tangled web you weave." And then that is all you get in that dream before you wake up. Brukon, you awake with your face planted on the dresser. One of the drawers of the dresser has been opened, and it seems you're kind of like leaning over that, and then your head on the top of it. It's like a tiered structure. So in a position that you never thought was possible to sleep in, but you found a way. And you can see that the rug by the door has been scuffed up by your entry into the room. Perhaps you tripped over it. Who knows? But other than that, you're not feeling any ill effects. You've slept off the drunkenness. However, you will need to make a constitution check to see if you're hungover.
Yep, that's fair. With or without disadvantage?
No disadvantage, because you're not drunk
No
anymore.
disadvantage. Splendid. Okay. Come on, baby. Constitution. Okay. Not great, not terrible. 11.
11. All right. So until your next short rest, you are poisoned.
Oh, okay. That is quite terrible, actually.
Oh, sorry. You're a dwarf, so you have advantage on poison checks. So sorry. Roll again.
Hey! Watch me roll even worse now.
At Dwarven Constitution.
Yes.
No, that's much better. That is 17.
All right, you stay. So you do not suffer the effects of a hangover. You are fine.
I am the worst person in the world. I can get absolutely wrecked and not care the next day.
Dwarves know how to party.
Sweet. Do I get a? Oh yeah, I get a long rest, right?
Yeah, so you got the benefits of a long rest. You do wake up later than everyone else by a couple of hours,
But sure. Yeah, absolutely.
for sure. But
Yeah, I mean, apart from anything else, Brukon got in at 3 a.m. and you have to have 8 hours. So it is nearly noon when Brukon emerges, fresh as a daisy, sharp as a ninepence, and just does a wow, and then like realigns all of his vertebrae after what is not the best night's sleep, but it was good enough.
yes,
He then, the most important thing, the one thing he remembers from the tail end of last night, is there a bottle of Dragonfire in the room?
there is. It's been placed on your bedside table.
Sweet. Brukon goes over to it, inspects it. Is the seal broken or is it sealed?
It's sealed.
It's sealed. Okay. Brukon will stand back and sort of eye it up and sort of like try and clock, how good does this bottle of liquor look?
It looks like it looks top shelf. It's a bit dusty, but the seal hasn't been broken. So.
Okay. In that case, that's going in the special compartment of Brukon's travel sack. We're not going to blow that. Like Brukon knows a classy brew when he's been given one. Classy may not be the right term here, but nevertheless, he knows a rare brew when he's been given it. He's not
brew,
going to.
yes.
He's not going to waste that one on morning drinking. Brukon stows that, grabs all his stuff. He was still wearing the waistcoat of gleaming, but I think he will now change into his regular togs.
Yep.
Having already done the business, he's now a regular gadabout town. Waistcoat of gleaming is off.
Plus the waistcoat of gleaming, it's clean. Ish, but it's it is. You have been wearing it for a while. There's a bit of it needs airing out.
It could do with a trip to airing out at the very least. Ideally, a trip. Brukon is a fop, so ideally he'd get it very exquisitely dry cleaned.
Dry cleaned, yeah. Of course.
But one has to make allowances for being in an unfamiliar context. So I think the next thing on Brukon's agenda is breakfast / lunch.
Excellent.
Brunch.
Yes, brunch.
I require poached eggs.
Yes. After doing that, we'll head on downstairs. However, before we get to that, because there's a few hours before that where the rest of the party are awake and ready to go.
I'll just park myself over here. Well, you carry on.
Malar and I really did this in the wrong order. I should have turned to you after we'd done this bit, but my bad. Anyway, off he goes. So Malar and Brina are, along with Neris, would probably be the first to wake up, followed swiftly by Leobrin. The four of you would probably be the first to rouse. So Malar, Leobrin, is there anything that you want to do this morning before, whilst waiting for the rest of the group to get up?
If I may.
Yes.
So Mallow will get up, have a sort of a bit of a quick breakfast, a bit of water, and he wants to very quickly go out, and he wants to do some very, very brief shopping. He knows exactly what he wants to get, and it's basically he wants incense, and he wants somewhere in the region of 50 gold pieces worth of, I guess, flowers and grain.
Okay. Fortunately, Neris also wants to go shopping. She's that's top of her mind. Like, she seems to be she doesn't really seem to eat breakfast much either. She just kind of push the food around her plate a bit, not particularly amused by it. Because I need to go shopping. And obviously, the two of you can go together. So roll a history check for me. See if you know where would be a good place to get these items from what you've heard about Rachir, from Herthir thus far.
Right. 19.
19, brilliant. Okay, so you know that there are for these particular items, the grain and the flowers, you may be able to find them in the bronze sector, but most of these items, most things you'll be able to find at the market, and the biggest market is in the silver district. They have a very large market there, so that would probably be the place to go for shopping.
Off we go.
Unfortunately, that is the other side of Herthis. So it will take you a while.
How long?
It would. Looking at the map here, it's going to take you maybe 40 minutes to get there.
Is there anywhere closer?
Yeah, you could try the gold sector. Obviously, that's quite expensive. Or you could try your luck in the bronze sector and see, because there's obviously workmen and stuff, so there's a bit more practical goods here. So that could work for you.
Yeah, we'll try the bronze sector.
Sure. Okay, so make an investigation check as you're looking for these particular items.
Oh, I think. Yeah, that's a natural 20.
Woo!
So 20. What was it? Investigation?
Yes.
21.
Nice. They all count. All right. So with a natural 20, you come across a stall that is selling. Will have your grains. Will have your flowers. Sorry, it was flowers rather than flower, right?
Yes. Sprout, blooming
plants
flowers.
rather than because grains and flower, it makes sense, but flowers and grain. Okay, yep. So there's a floristry stall, there's
The only sourdough of the 8.
So there is a miller of sorts who is got their stall selling their wares, and there is a female dragonborn with who's wearing a bonnet and has a hamper under her arm. Seems to be singing something in Draconic, but has a load of flowers in her hamper under her arm.
Oh, so hang on. We've had a long rest, right?
You've had a long rest, yeah.
Just gonna.
You do your spells and things.
Yeah. I just need to make sure I've got enough spell slots for everything I want to do. All right, I'll bop a tongues on myself.
Okay.
I just want to buy 25 gold pieces worth of flowers.
Yep.
And the same in grain, if I can find grain.
You can do that. So the grain, yep, you do that, no problem at all. The flowers, Neris kind of rolls her eyes and looks at you and goes, "Can you hear that?" And obviously with tongues, you would be able to understand, right? Or, you can understand them and they can understand you with tongues, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can hear her singing, "Who will buy my sweet red roses?" Repeatedly in Draconic, just over and over. All the references tonight. And as always. And yes, she's very happy to when you offer the amount of coin that you have for because you want 25 gold pieces worth, so whatever that is in Brukon currency, that's going to be it's going to be about 4 or 5 bronze dragons. She gives you the lot. Okay. She's like that covers the entire hamper. She just hands you the hamper.
Cool, great. There's that. I need the grain. I also need a little bit of incense as well from somewhere, but grain. The grain is the important bit.
Yeah, the grain you've got the grain from the miller, so you can spend the gold for that. And the flowers. And as she hands over the hamper to you, she withdraws one of the flowers and then hands it to Neris, and you understand her saying, "For your girlfriend." Hands it to her, and Neris just his face goes darkens, and just kind of takes the flower like, "What?" And then looks at you for support.
Malar is flustered. Very. Oh no, that's not no. Oh, but thank you, but no.
You see the flower disintegrate as Neris burns it.
You've overcorrected.
gone too far in the other direction.
No. I think
Okay,
to be honest, I think you're
yeah.
on the same wavelength, the two of you, on that. She's also looking a little like she's looking more annoyed than embarrassed about this. Like, really, seriously, okay, right. So is there anything else you need here? Because I am thinking of getting some retail therapy.
Oh, yes, I'm quite well stocked now, Ms. Naris. I'm going to retreat back to our lodgings, and where, may I ask, are you intending to head off to?
Well, I heard there's a lot of... As much as I didn't like the guy, you know, that silver dragonborn from yesterday, I believe the Silver District has a lot of clothes shops, so I was going to go check that out.
Okay, does Neris wear any sort of earrings or anything like that, do we know? Anything that she's not going to be parted with easily?
She has the ring of conviction, which she doesn't part with easily. I think there's another jewel that she has.
Before she leaves, I want to just eye that, just so I know what it is and what it looks like.
Okay. She's like, are you? Do you want this?
Oh no, Ms. Neris, if we're going to separate, I would like to be able to find you later if something should happen to you again. And this is just an insurance stratagem, if you will.
All right. She looks
Okay.
a little awkward and then walks away.
Yeah, I will head back to the bar.
Excellent. So the only thing you're missing is the incense now. So as you'll, is that right?
I'm just wondering actually if I've got incense as part of my starters pack.
Yeah, if you had a priest pack, you'll have some incense.
Yeah, I got a block of incense. That's fine. I've got that. That's
perfect, because that might have been a bit more tricky. I don't need to worry about it. So that's good. Okay, so when you arrive back, you can see. Well, sorry. Before you arrive back, Leobrin, you've got up and will have observed. Looking quite sleepy as you currently are. You've seen Malar.
Method acting.
Yes, indeed. You've seen Malar on Neris leave. What is it that you wanted to? Is there anything you wanted to achieve before the rest of the party awaken? Breen is with you.
I'll drop by the front desk and ask if the keys were collected.
You can see that. So the surly dragonborn who served you in the evening is not behind the bar now. It appears to be a lot cheerier sight, actually. A much shorter, very young looking female dragonborn. Again, got some bronze scales on one side of her face, and some short, kind of braided hair that's just kind of tied back behind her head. Yes, the keys were collected for both of your missing companions have come. Yes.
Oh, that's a relief. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Let's see. Is your bar already open?
Yes.
Could I get a pint of something nice and what does Seth like?
When you want alcohol, or
yes,
you do. Okay. Yes, a pint of
whatever comes in pints.
Oh, okay. She looks a little bit uncertain, but she does roll a natural 20 on her intelligence, so she goes and so she grabs a pitcher of wine and then just look, fills up a pint of wine.
And some let's go boiled eggs. I think Seth likes eggs. Been carrying one around for a while.
Eggs, yes, we do curried eggs, yes. Curried eggs, okay.
Curried eggs.
Yes, okay.
Yes, thank you.
Prepares curried eggs. Two portions of that, was that?
No. Just
one.
The one portion of curried eggs.
Okay. So 1 pint of wine, red wine, and one and 1 curried eggs, and she goes, "Okay, so that'll be 5 brass dragons."
Lovely. What is that in real money?
5 brass dragons.
I have the money in Rachiri money.
Yeah.
But it's all still at conversion rate, gold, copper, silver.
Yeah. So
etc.
5 brass dragons, I believe, is each brass dragon is worth 2 silver pieces, I believe.
So 10
10 silver.
silver.
I believe. I will double check that.
That's a shake of the head from Malar.
Can we take this as a learning moment, kids?
Yes.
In your D&D games at home, for fuck's sake, use Electum, but that's it. Do not do any of this fancy currency stuff.
Don't
It's
use
so
international
bizarre.
currency
Yes,
conversion.
in fact, in the previously in the Manylands, where I recap on session 71 to 75, I explicitly say, don't do this. This was a bad idea. But we are so far past the point of no return now.
I don't know, like, maybe devil's advocate isn't the word here, but anyway, I will say this: I appreciate the commitment to verisimilitude in world building. A lot of us, not everyone, but a lot of us have the Lord of the Rings as a big touchstone, and one of the reasons why Lord of the Rings is such a big deal in fantasy is because of the enormous amount of work that Tolkien put into the world building, and this is absolutely of a piece with that. But for practical purposes, yeah, it's a bit tricky. But I will say that I want to say it's tricky, but I appreciate it. It's admirable. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think.
But it is practically madness. I agree.
One, maybe do it in a system that supports such a thing in functionality. 2,
for sure.
In your home game where you can spend some time with the calculator, probably fine. In a streamed game where pace is important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good luck. Right.
Yeah.
Back to the pace.
Yes.
Apologies.
At this point, it's now trying to figure out how we can activate it, but I feel like it's a bit late now that we've kind of sorted it. I think 'cause I think we've got our heads around it, so we might as well keep going.
Yeah.
In Lord of the
this will
Rings,
not happen
they
in
just
other currencies.
cut it out, and when they went to Rohan, that's all in, and they did the currency exchange. That's in the extended edition. So we can just pretend that
the
this
Bureau
part's
de
been
Change
cut.
in Rohan.
Yeah, it's in appendix B2 the exchange rates in the
it's
book.
a good point, but you don't see in the films, and I don't know if this is the thing in the books. You don't really see people go shopping. It's not really. I mean,
no one spends any money
no,
in
it seems
Lord
like
of the
a
Rings
barter
past.
currency. They swap items. For
Well, they just
things.
don't. They just don't. They're at
Where
war.
was Gondor when the gold coin dropped?
Where was Gondor when the gold standard got devalued?
When the gold standard fell.
Thank you.
Where was
They just
Gondor when we
take
went down to a
everything from the
AA
dead.
rating?
They just take it all from the dead. They just got really generous loot mechanics.
The elves just sort of hand everyone the weapons they need. Yeah, Key says in the chat. Yes, this is it. Anyway, sorry. Yes. Anyway, Leobrin, you've ordered your curried eggs and your pint of wine.
I buy a pint of wine and a serving of curried eggs, and then I head back up to the rooms of Leobrin, of Brukon and Seth.
Okay.
And I knock on. I don't know how far apart these doors are. I knock on both of them.
You guys have a bit of a... I would say that the party has a bit of a pack mentality, so you kind of all... When you each selected your rooms, you would have selected the one next to the next person. So Seth and Brukon would be at one end. So their rooms would be next to each other as the latest arrivals. But yeah, so the nearest one to you would be Brukon, Seth would be the next one. Although you wouldn't know that because you didn't see them come in, so you don't know which one's in which one.
Yeah, but we left keys for them. We know which rooms they're in.
There were keys left for them, but there are no discerning features on the doors.
He means you don't know if you're knocking on mine
You
or
don't know
Brukon.
if it's Brukon or Seth that you're knocking on, because it doesn't differentiate whose room is
If
whose.
the doors
you
are
know
next
what I
to
mean?
each other, I knock on both.
Oh, you're going to knock on them both at the same time. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Brukon,
I'm
I'm going to...
No response.
Yep.
No response from Brukon.
If you were going to say the response, I was
up.
going to overrule you there and say, no, you are definitely not responding. Seth, however, I don't... perhaps Seth does.
I only got
Leobrin,
back like 30 minutes after them.
yeah, that's true. So you've had a lot of sleep. So yes, you can answer. Seth, if Seth would answer, you can answer.
Yeah, open the door.
Oh,
Good morning.
good morning. How late did you stay out with your friend?
Only an extra half an hour.
Oh, well, that's good. I got you some breakfast just in case you'd been out. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
curried eggs. I think it's a delicacy of the area.
Thank you. This is kind.
Did you see Brukon while you were out?
No, I only got back a little bit after. I don't know if he's there. Have you tried knocking for him?
I have knocked. He has not responded, but he has apparently come in. So
How did he? Oh, I was going to say, how did he sound on your message? But I forgot that it appears as a note.
yes, he did not respond.
Oh, well,
He did
we'll
no,
leave
he-
him for a bit.
He did respond. He
He seemed distracted, though.
He did seem distracted. I'm
We'll leave him for a
going
bit.
to, if he's in, maybe Leobrin puts the pint of wine down, sort of like just tucked up next to the door.
Yep,
As like,
perfect. Yes. Welcome back,
maybe,
Drunken Master. Pint of wine.
As I said in our exchange the other day via DM, when I think of Brukon, the words high-functioning alcoholic are never too far from my mind.
Leobrin like gives it a hand wave over the top to try and waft it into the room as like a welcoming Brukon.
Come on.
Anyway, I hope he's all right. But yes, so you had a good time. You didn't want to leave us a note before you left, Seth? You are muted.
You're muted,
Seth?
James. No, he looked so into it. No, he was really into that for a moment. Okay, keep that level of energy. Whenever you're ready, James. The joys of online, everyone.
Seth, you feel quite overwhelmed with emotion.
His face contorts a little bit as he's trying to express two different emotions simultaneously.
Emotion.
Is it the curried eggs? Are they too strong?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
We can.
Yay.
Question
Hello,
to
sorry about that.
ask? Yes. Did you have a nice? You didn't leave a message, so we didn't quite know what was.
Yes, sorry. My friend thought that, not friend, acquaintance, thought that Neris was chasing me in that instance. I mean, you know how scary she looks when she's chasing someone. So he
is
teleported. So I didn't know he could teleport, but he wanted to make sure I was okay before he checked up. But yeah, so luckily it was all fine. Brina told me that you realized it was willing, so
Yes.
that's why I wasn't heartbroken that none of you went out searching for me.
I mean, also that plus it's a teleportation spell. How do we find you?
Yeah, very true. That's why you would have looked, but you knew it was willing, so it's fine.
Yes.
His
Is
fragile
it
ego.
anything you need to worry about? You're not talking to your
no.
medallion again, or
No, he was the one that I asked Malar to contact before. So he's the guy that was in charge of the information for the Basilisk Hunt. That I told Malar that he'd be receiving the shipment. He knew we were in town from the message, and I've asked him to find information on Damon, the Red Mages, and the Dagger, since they're quite a good information network.
Oh, that's good. It's a shame we didn't meet them.
You know how information people are. They don't really like meeting people they don't know.
Very sensible. That's well, it's good to have you back. Are you going to be disappearing without telling us again anytime
Well,
soon?
I didn't know he could teleport. Didn't know it was disappearing.
Well, okay, that's fair. I've accidentally been teleported without my knowledge before as well. So I yes.
Yeah, it's disconcerting. Just suddenly appearing somewhere. This is my
It's
first time
really,
teleporting.
it's really weird. It's
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Mala went out for some shopping. I don't know if you want to.
I'll come down and join you for breakfast.
Oh yes. I think they did offer more curried eggs if you want.
Thank you. I'll give these ones a try first, and I'll start heading down with Leo for breakfast.
All right. All right, so you can have your curried eggs downstairs with Leobrin. Leobrin, what are you having for breakfast? You can have the curried eggs as well?
Now that I've decided that they are a local delicacy, Leobrin will also have curried eggs.
All right, so it'll be another 2 brass dragons. So what? That'll be 4 silver pieces.
4 silver?
Yep, 4 silver pieces. And Brina is with you. She also partakes in the curried eggs because, she likes trying new things too. So you'll need to make constitution checks because the Rachiri love their spice.
Okay. Just a normal con check, not
Just
a save.
a normal con check, not a save.
So 20 minus 1 is 19.
All right, Leobrin. It's a very pleasant. There's a bit of heat, but it's a pleasant heat. It lifts the flavour of the other sort of herbs and spices that are in there. The general heat. It really complements the dish. Seth, this is hot. It's you can eat it, but all you're tasting is heat. All you're tasting is spice. It's a bit overpowering for you, but you can stomach it. Brina, on the other hand, immediately runs to the bar, grabs the jug of water, and just puts her face into it. And she's just like sopping wet after having thrown it over herself. I don't think I'll be having that again.
Oh,
I see a bit of steam kind of waft from her mouth.
I thought mine was quite good. Maybe you just had a hot one.
Maybe it just doesn't agree with me. I'm used to more beige food, I guess.
So beige right now.
I did not know that about gnomish cuisine.
Well, I don't know about land-dwelling gnomes, but certainly deep gnomes, we have a lot more, mushrooms and sort of root vegetables and such. So it's
more
it's
of an umami flavour than a...
Exactly, yes. It's an umami flavour. Yes, that's it. Not swallowing it down with dairy. Yes, the water would probably make it hotter. She has an intelligence 20, but there was nothing else there. There's no milk at the bar.
Abel knows what's up, though. Abel knows the way.
He's experienced in the heat. So just during this exchange would be about the time Malar would reappear back at the inn.
Malar.
So, Malar, you entered to see some curried eggs, remains of curried eggs on the table. Brina standing at the bar, sopping wet, a bit red in the cheeks, with Leobrin speaking to her, and Seth kind of at the table. You'd notice, you'd acknowledge each other as you walk in, Malar.
Okay, I'll sit down at the table with. I assume Seth is. In my mind, when we find a table as a group, it's a sizable table, so we can all get around it.
Yes.
I assume that's the case here.
Yeah, you searched the big
okay.
table, yeah.
I'll go sit at the table with Seth, and I'll put my flowers on the table and grain down by my chair. Oh, Mr. Seth, productive evening?
Not as productive as your morning of flower shopping for essentials.
Oh, these are for use later. Anything you care to divulge about last night's activities, or is it just between you and whoever you were knocking boots with, so to speak?
No, as I
Trying
as I said
desperately
to
get the water
Leo,
out.
Ooh,
I
the
was-
the shade.
it was the information broker that I asked you to contact before, the one that you sent the message to tell them where we were and to expect the Basilisk parts.
Hmm.
They found me, but they thought Neris was chasing me, and I didn't know you could teleport.
Can
I
I
wasn't
can I
expecting
insight
that.
check him?
Yeah, of course.
13. Do I think he's lying or telling the truth?
Seth,
Or...
roll your deception.
21.
Okay. You don't think he's lying.
Plus 6, baby.
Mr. Seth, I am not entirely sure that you and I are cut from the same cloth, but can I trust that whatever you're up to at the moment isn't going to act against us in the fullness of time?
No, that's it's the guy from the Information Guild that I asked him to get us information on the. He paid me for the Basilisk parts, and I'm going to take out the 2 greater healing potions. He paid me for the Basilisk parts, and I gave some payment for information on Damon, the Red Mages, and the Captain of the Guard to see if we can figure out why he's got taken the dagger and if he's working with them. So hopefully he'll come back with some information for us soon.
That's well, okay, Mr. Seth. I'll trust you for the time being, but you know, we are cut from different cloth, and I am you are a wary individual. But speaking of which, daggers and such the like, and I sort of try and gesticulate anybody else that's over. I want group chat.
Yep.
What is our intention today? Beyond the festivities of last night, Ms. Neris is currently treating herself to a spa day. What are our intentions? Are we to help the king on his request, or do we have more pressing matters vis-a-vis the dagger?
Well, we don't know where that guy is. I know he's a royal guard, but we don't know where he is to get the dagger back. Should we tell the king? Then we've got to admit we've got the dagger. They could take it from us after.
Well, Mr. Seth, let me tell you something about the circles that I move in. When you are at one with the gods, such as myself, they grant you blessings, and one of those blessings may indeed assist in, I don't know, locating an object you are familiar with.
Knew it as soon as you said about the ring
What's
thing. I
the
was
spell?
like, yes. Excellent.
What's the spell called?
Oh, it's this blessing is, I believe, I can quite simply locate an object that I have familiarity with. I believe it'll work out to a certain range. It's not infinite, but it may well be that I can get a bead on it, and that'll give us a vague location.
Brina leans over to Seth and says,
Let's do it.
Brina leans over to Seth and says, in my circles, we call it locate object.
Let him have his moment.
Okay.
Like, they're not, in my mind, they're not spells from Allah. They're prayers.
No, of course. But obviously, as a wizard, she would see it as a spell. So yeah, entirely fair. Entirely appropriate characterization. I'm here for it. Keep it up. I love it.
I would let people finish their. Oh goodness, what are you eating? finish their breakfast before we embark on this endeavor. But are we sure that we don't want to get the at least speak to the king about what he's after, and maybe he could assist us in retrieving our stolen property?
But do you want to try the locate object first, see if we get it first? Because if we go to him with the information of the guy being a spy, then don't know what he'd give. We get good
I
standing.
think you're running before you can walk there, Mr. Seth. Just because somebody steals something doesn't mean that they are allied against their king. He may just be a common thief.
But we can still beat him up and take it back.
Mr. Seth. Well, maybe you can do the beating. Mr.
Okay.
Leobrin, is Brukon up yet?
Not yet.
Mr. Leobrin, what are your thoughts? What should we be pursuing today?
I mean, I've always learned it's advisable to not keep a king waiting. So perhaps we should focus on that.
Very good. How about this compromise? As we're going to see the king, I'll utter my blessing and I'll try to intuit where this thing may be, and if that points us in a direction that is amenable to the meeting, then perhaps we investigate further, and if it doesn't, then we'll go see the king and see what he's after and see what leads he can provide to us, and then we can have this conversation again and determine what we're going to do. Did Mr. Brukon make it back last night?
Apparently so.
On this, as you say this, Leobrin, you would hear the door opening from Brukon's room. Brukon, you appear.
Hang on, you hear the door open, and then you hear a "Ooh, hello," and and then Brukon appears.
Indeed, yes.
Holding a pint of wine. Sorry, no, 2/3 of a pint of wine.
Oh, Mr. Brukon, come, sit, join us. We are discussing today's oh my goodness, what is that?
Yeah, you can see it's a
What
tankard rather than a glass. But yes, as soon as he sits down, you can see that you can definitely see it's red wine.
Yeah. Oh, certainly, Deacon Shade Creek. And good morning to you. How are you? How was last night?
Oh, my night was uneventful. Mr. Seth got up to some shenanigans, but I'll let you ask him about that. We're just discussing what our... Go on.
Sorry, I'd say Brukon turns to Seth and just does a... and Brukon takes a hearty swig of wine, turns back to Malar and goes, "Yes, yes, what's today then?"
Indeed, we are just debating that. Do we find
Malar,
the dagger, or do we speak to the king?
We spend the morning, cast your locate object, see if we can find it. If we can't get anything, head to the king.
What about because there was that guy who went and he wasn't the king. The apologies, it's been a few weeks for me.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
The chappie who came to who said, "I have a mission for you."
The commander of the enforcers, yes, Balthazar Bolt.
That's the chap. Is there out of character for a second?
Yes.
Have I missed something that Brukon wouldn't have around this guy?
I guess there's one thing that he told you, because you agreed that you could meet him at a later time at his office, which is in the on the edge of the gold sector, in a building with a blue door, by the Docklands Gate.
Right. Okay. So okay, zoop, back in character. Brukon says, "Yes, I can see that either of those are worthy causes, but there is also this Balthazar Bolt fellow. Does one of us perhaps want to go and have a little chat with him and see what he's about? He did mention having a job for us, as I recall."
Did he say what the job was?
I don't believe so. It was a very he sort of from what I recall, and forgive me, my memory is a little hazy, but from what I recall, he had a sort of like, "Hello, I have a job for you. Now, millions of people are coming, and I'm supposed to be stealthy. Bye," and then buggered off. So, presumably, one of us needs to track him down and have a conversation in a more select location.
He seemed to be some kind of master of espionage, right? Like he was saying things, and no one around him was like reacting like he was saying anything suspicious.
Yeah,
He was
Master
very
Spies seem
suspicious.
to do that. I mean, there was the first Master Spy we met kept telling people he's a Master Spy.
Yes.
Exactly. That's how we were fairly certain this.
That's how you know they're a master spy if they say, "Hello, I am a master spy."
You've got form in this with Gant Bron.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mala, how long did it take you to cast Locate Dagger?
Very specific spell.
It's it's momentary, but the effect lasts for a small duration.
I've told people that too.
Should we start getting ready to go and cast it on the way?
Yes, sure. We're coming back to here tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, we paid for a couple nights, didn't we?
You've only paid for the one night, but
Fantastic.
you could come back if you wanted to.
Oh.
I'll go pay for my room for a second night, and then I'll put my grain and my flowers up in my room.
Okay, so it's a bronze dragon per room. A bronze dragon being 4 gold pieces.
Cool.
Do we want to stay here for the duration?
Yeah, well, let's stay here and keep some. If we've got any stuff we want to keep in the rooms, pay for this room for another night.
Okay.
Brukon says, "I'm definitely very keen to stay here. The quality of service is just out of this world, quite frankly." And he kind of goes, "They gave me an amazing They gave me a dusty, unopened bottle of their local stuff. We should definitely stay here."
Great.
Yeah,
I'm looking for my calculator.
I would be interested also having a nice space to be able to read more material. I'm interested to know if they have any more items or scrolls at the palace, like the ones they gave us for the fights with the Hydra, the 7 deaths. Maybe there's.
Well, let's head to the palace, and on the way we'll cast the thing. I'm gonna go up to the bar, give the guy 6 bronze dragons for everyone's rooms, and say, "Rooms for one more night."
Well, I think Malar's just paid for his, but you can pay for the rest.
Yeah,
He can pay for mine. I don't mind.
Yeah, I put 6 down, and Malar just takes one of the ones I just put down. Thank you.
Cool.
That's very generous, Seth.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Perhaps you're not entirely lost there, Mr. Surf.
I'm glad to have your approval.
Damning with faint praise.
Backhanded compliment.
Backhanded compliment.
You know.
All right. So
Should we head off?
get
Do
yourselves
we
together?
head off at this
Yeah.
point?
Yeah, sounds good.
Ready to go? Everyone ready? We've got everyone.
Brina offered Malar the rest of her curried eggs because she wasn't feeling hungry anymore, so you can have those if you'd like.
Brukon eyes it aggressively
Oh.
as it passes nearby him,
Oh, you can. I mean,
but doesn't
either one
say.
of
But
you.
doesn't say anything.
Okay.
No, you can have the eggs. I think Malar
Doesn't touch.
already.
Yeah, doesn't touch the sides. Straight down.
And due to this is hair of the dog and the rest of it, you won't be required to make a Constitution check for this one. I think you pass this one. I'll give you a pass. Don't even notice. He's on it.
Like I say, it doesn't touch the sides. It goes like.
Gulp, done. If only there were raw eggs, right? Anyway, so you guys are like.
I had a thing speaking out loud there. Sorry.
No, we didn't catch it. Not a problem. Okay, so you guys ready to go? Head on out of Bronze Allergy into the Bronze Sector, and you know that the palace is north of you, as is the gate out of the main city and towards the palace. That's the way to head. So you pass by you'd pass by the stall where you remember the other night that you saw the creepy-looking cloaked figure that had a load of coffins that they were measuring. No longer there. The stall is no longer there either. Very odd. But yes, so did you want to cast the spell on the way to the palace? Was that the idea?
Yes, that was the intention. I'm just trying to get to the World Anvil page so I can get a feel for what the map is.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then I'll
you can also go on Discord. Time and Place has the map of there.
And the map of Herthir is also
Yes.
on our Twitch page, on our Twitch feed, on the right-hand side of me as well.
Wait, what's it under?
Time and Place if you're on Discord.
Yeah, time and place. Right, okay. There we go. Hang on, that's the one.
And
Come on.
Well, I haven't updated the time recently.
If you haven't checked out our World Anvil page, please do so. I do update it sometimes, but I get a bit sidetracked, and so it does take a while sometimes for things to be put up there. But there is a Nations tab, which currently has Burikrin and Richir, and Richir has its own entry along with, I think there's also a link to Herthir as well. But there's a lot of information about the lore of Richir, so there's a lot of stuff about dragons, unsurprisingly, and all other stuff. There is a link to that on our Twitch page as well. Shameless plug over.
Shameless plug!
Yes. So we're in the bronze sector, are we?
We are, yes.
Okay. Ideally, what I'd like to do is actually get towards the pit.
Okay.
Between the pit and that what looks like a church structure, and I'll bop it out there.
Oh, somewhere in the centre of the city. Fair enough. And the
Yeah,
radius on
sort of.
locate object?
It's
One city.
one city.
Ah.
One small city. It's 1,000 feet in any direction.
1,000 feet, you say?
And it lasts for 10 minutes.
All right. So you bop it in the centre of the city. Not currently getting anything.
Okay, well, let's. I'll let people know that I'm getting nothing, and we'll move on to wherever we want to move on to.
How many times can you cast it if we don't get a result from this one?
I would like to be somewhat frugal with some of my spellcast, some of my religious blessings. But in theory, let's say I could probably cast this another 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
Alternatively, there are other ways of divining the location of this object.
Yes, there is.
I would use any godly help we could get. We have literally never been successful at tracking something or someone.
Let's try this. Let's do this. Okay, so are we heading towards the palace?
I think that was the
Yeah.
plan. Yep.
Okay. Off we go.
All right. So you continue on from the pit towards the palace. So you head towards the gate. In 10 minutes, you would probably just about get to the gate before that 10 minutes is up. Now, just before you get to the gate, Malar, for a moment you get a ping, and it's directly north of you. For a moment, you get a sense the dagger is to the north of you, and then it suddenly dissipates.
Is the spell over?
No. But then, moments later, you sense the spell is over.
I'll sort of say, that's most curious. I thought I felt something to the north here, but it's now gone. I'm not entirely sure this is to do with the spell, but and I'll cast it again.
Okay.
What's currently to the north of us?
What is currently to
well, you can't see because you can't. I mean, from where you're standing, it's just the gate is in front of you. So to the north would be the gate and maybe a bit of the wall. from this
Is
from
the
from where
palace
you
to
are.
the
You
north?
can't. You know the palace is generally to the north of you. Yes. You can't see it, but you know it's generally there. When you cast the spell again, Malar, you get that same ping, same place, and it disappears immediately. No sooner have you sensed the direction of the object, the spell seems to just be blocked by something.
I sense this is something to do with the anti-magic field within the grounds of the castle, but I suspect it's in the palace.
Luckily, we're going in the right direction.
Leobrin, can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Okay. Diddly-diddly-dee. That is a 14.
14. Suddenly you feel very exposed and you kind of look around you and you can see some of the Dragonborn moving to and from wherever they're going, but you feel like somebody's watching you.
Seth, you've got Sneako vision. Is anyone watching us? I feel like someone's watching us, but
I'm going to cast Detect Magic and just do a quick look around, see if anyone's watching with magic.
I may have revealed my hand too much, but yes, you do detect magic. You with hovering 10 feet away from Leobrin is an orb radiating divination magic.
I'm going to say, as I've just finished casting the spell, I'm going to go, I can't see anything around, and I'm going to turn away from Leo and the orb, and I'm going to cast message that only he can hear me.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back to Leo and say, there is a glowing orb behind you. I'm not sure if it's watching or listening, but only you can hear this message. So don't let on that we know it's watching us or listening.
See well, Pavel.
You can respond to this without it hearing.
Okay. That's... I guess I'm going to say that I didn't sense anything at all, and you also didn't sense anything. Is that the plan? Cool.
I think we're... Are we standing still, or are we still walking-ish to the palace?
At this point, you're standing still because you've just been like, something looking at me.
I've just asked you to scout around for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, cool. Let's head back. Let's head towards the palace then. And as was them walking away, I'm going to cast message again to Leo and say it'll probably disappear when we enter the anti-magic field. So just don't say anything else until we get inside.
Very smart. Very smart.
Leo makes faces.
So you
Awkward,
guys,
non-speaking faces.
So you guys head up, awkwardly making those faces, sheepish kind of faces, as you head up the track towards the palace, seeing some of the litter remaining behind from the crowd that were gathered here only yesterday to herald the pit champions, which of course is the title you guys go by now. It was so full yesterday, and today it is empty. It's almost like in yesterday's news, but not quite. You've definitely got celebrity status. And as you look out over the coast, you can see that there is one large ship moored by the palace. Seems to be like similar to a sort of man of war size. It's a big old ship. There is a very few crew on there, but it looks like it probably was there yesterday as well, and you just didn't pay much attention to it because of the crowds. Anyways, you head up into the palace, into the outer walls of the palace, and into the courtyard. you see the royal guards that sort of nod to you as you come over. Before 3 of them kind of block your path. At their head, Captain Auburn, the captain of the royal guards that you recognise, was the one who took the Bone Dagger. And as usual, they ask you for your weapons before entering the palace.
As before, Brukon in a very relaxed fashion hands everything out. Well, I think he did actually try to conceal something. This time he's not even going to bother. It was like a dagger or something he tried to sneak in. This time he doesn't even bother. He's just like, yeah, here you go. Just boom, there you go. Here's the tonfa. Here's the cookery. Here's daggers, darts, whatever.
I'm gonna hold open the
These
jacket.
are the only weapons I need, baby.
Jacket of many weapons. But do we really need to do this again? I'm going to hand over the items as a finish because we are going to get them all back, right?
He nods.
Rest of you got items?
What?
Rest of you guys giving items over?
I'm not.
Yeah, so the rest of you giving your weapons over. Yep, once that's done, put in their various sacks, deposited in the
are we in the anti-magic field now?
Not yet, but now once your weapons are taken, you can then proceed into the keep, and as you enter the threshold of the keep, then the anti-magic field would coalesce over you. Now, your detect magic would have stopped before you got here, so you'd have to cast it again if you wanted to see if it had worked, but obviously that won't work when you enter the anti-magic field either, so...
Well, once we're sort of definitely in an area that we've lost magic from, I'm just going to try to cast detect magic to see if we can.
Doesn't work.
Cool. I'm going to turn to Malar and Brukon and Brina and say, when Leo said he felt something... Oh wait, are any Dragonborns around us, like immediate vicinity?
There are some Dragonborn guards posted, yeah, with their halberds, just stationed guards.
Is the guy that we took the Bone Dagger next to us?
No, he's outside. He's the one who took your weapons.
Oh. Can send the other guys. When Leo asked me to cast detect magic earlier, there was a floating orb behind him. I'm not sure if it was listening or watching, so I told Leo with message not to say out loud that we knew it was there. But it's probably gone now that we're in the anti-magic field. But someone's watching us, or watching Leo specifically.
Who have we just lost?
No,
Was that...
I think everyone's here.
Someone... Yeah, Marshall's just dropped out.
Oh, no.
Brukon kind of takes this on board a bit stoically and then says, "Do you know, Seth, I think you're well on your way to being a master spy as well. That's extremely good fieldcraft there. Right, well, we'll have to keep an eye out, I suppose."
So, you guys wanting to head into the throne room to speak to the king?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think so.
So you continue straight ahead, and you can see that the king is sitting on his throne. And you, from entering this way, because last time you entered through a side door, this time you get the full majesty of the throne room. The kind of tiered sort of the raked kind of stairs leading up to the throne itself, and the great dragon skull that is placed kind of behind and around the throne itself, as if it looks as if the king is sitting in the maw of a great a gargantuan dragon skull. It's breathtaking and terrifying in equal measure. But as I said, it's a skull, so it's not alive. So that's nothing to worry about. Everything's fine. The king himself and his advisor, or translator, or whatever role he is, are there, along with their jester. They seem to be speaking to... they are speaking to one Dragonborn dignitary, which, Brukon, you would recognise as the head of Clan Ragthrok. the Bronze Dragon clan. The female Pharrell is the leader, and she seems to finish speaking as you enter the room, and bows to you all. Greetings, pit champions. I was hoping to speak to you at some point. Perhaps if you visit the district later on. I will be working in the soup kitchen tonight, and perhaps we can discuss matters there.
Gosh, we're terribly popular here, aren't we? This is amazing. Anyway, hello. Is this out of character? This isn't the fashion lady, is it?
No, this is the one who was very much about helping the poor and charity work and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense with the soup kitchen thing. Cool. Okay. I think Brukon is intrigued by this one in particular. He's more comfortable dealing with the fashionista lady, but he's more intrigued with the path his life has taken with this one, and he looks very solemnly up at her and says, "Oh, that's a very gracious offer, my lady. I cannot speak for my companions here, but I certainly would be delighted to take her up on it. And yes, I look forward to speaking more later today."
Good. Until then. And she bows and heads off. Hello, Master Paquier.
Hello,
Excellent. I mean, I'm aware that it's getting late, so I will look to wrap up momentarily for today.
I ran out of data.
Oh no! We will not keep you long then, because don't want to be eating up what's left of your reserve data. That is not fun. All right. So when she leaves, the king is ready to receive you all. What's your opening statement? As they nod to you and extend a hand for you to come forward.
We didn't die.
The advisor looks to the king. The king shrugs. The advisor looks back. Yes, we announced you as pit champions yesterday.
Well, let me elaborate. We didn't die, and we've come to offer our assistance. Your grace. I look at the king. We are willing to assist you in with any issues you may have at hand, and I'm aware that there are other people around that were not around him previously.
You see the king kind of lean over to the advisor and whisper something in Draconic. The advisor bows to the king, turns to you all, nods, and leaves the room. Hearing the echoing of his footsteps as he heads out, the long walk out of the throne room. The king nods to the jester. The jester still remains in place, but seems to be in on this. And the king rises from his throne. Excellent. We have business to talk about. You were meant to speak to Balthazar Bolt. Have you done this?
He came and cryptically said a sentence to us as we left the pit, but we wanted to come here and get information.
Okay.
And give information as well.
Well, I appreciate any information you would give to me directly. That is smart. You can trust Commander Bolt. He will be able to go over the logistics of what I have proposed. His agents will also be able to assist you. He's detectives. But basically, for those who were not in the conversation before, and I trust my elven friend here may not have divulged all the details to you, though he was allowed to. I believe that there is a traitor amongst the clans. I think they are looking to depose me. In fact, I think they are behind the assassination attempt last year that left both the queen and the prince, my family, dead by poison. And I believe that it is a power move by one of the other clans to take over in my place. So
Brukon Sorry, go on.
Sorry, yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, Brukon nods solemnly at this and just sort of goes, yes, power play. Yes, those are very irritating in my experience. I certainly, again, as I was saying to another lady, I can't speak for my companions, but I'm certainly interested to stop things getting too messy.
But from what I understand, from the Grey Elf here, your interest is in that of the Red Mages. I have some information about the Red Mages. We are gathering more information as we speak. And in exchange for your assistance in this investigation, I will offer you information about the Red Mages and their goals. I worry that perhaps our two causes may align in a terrible way. I hope I am mistaken.
Right. Are you... Well, it seems to me, given that you brought us here through a threat of death, and then when we arrived here, you subjected us to the threat of more death. It feels to me like maybe a little upfront information might be in order, especially if you suspect that the information that you have is the information that we're looking for might be relevant to the concerns that you have. It seems like putting some cards on the table are in order here.
The king raises a hand just as Brukon starts to gabble a little bit, and just to stop him. Yes, that is fair. Then, to start with, we know that the Red Mages are looking for artifacts. These artifacts are remnants of Ushtag the Deceiver, the Great Red Dragon. We believe the Red Mages are gathering all of these artifacts, these pieces of Ushtag. We do not know what the purpose is for yet, but we know that each of these items are powerful. One of them you see before you, and he gesticulates behind him to the skull. If the Red Mages were to take this, it would be some effort, especially with our anti-magic field present.
Is that is that the skull of Ushtag himself?
Yes.
Shit.
Now,
I saw that reaction, James, by the way, and I agree with it.
Yeah.
There's been a few revelations in this session. It's been good.
Field's useful.
We know of a second item, one you carried with you. We have this now for safekeeping. A dagger. It was one of the fingers of Ushtag.
You took it.
Yes, my captain handed it over to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Awkward.
We weren't going to kill him. Shit.
Do we ask for it back?
When I want it back, but I can't figure out a reason why I want it back. Is it wise to keep multiple artifacts in one location?
As I said,
I feel like we've had this discussion before.
But not with him, and I want the shit back.
The anti-magic field that we have been able to harness through our ingenuity of manipulating of bronze and of other features means that this will be a very difficult place for sorcerers like the Red Mages to impregnate. So we believe that both items will be safe here, at least for now. Safer than perhaps it would be out in the city.
You believe it's safe here because of the anti-magic field. If you have people targeting your lives, would they be targeting the anti-magic field? Is there something that, is there an object that's causing the anti-magic field they could be targeting?
it will be difficult for them to find the source. It is possible, but it is unlikely.
I see you, Seth. I see you.
Fuck off.
Sneaky motherfucker.
But we
What's
have,
the trail of thought of sneakiness now?
but we have. It is well guarded.
Okay.
So-
And Thingy Bolt is actually our contact for this. It's not the king. It's the
Yes.
other chap.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Though for more information about the red mages, I would advise you come to me directly here in the palace. Once you have, I believe that Balthazar will have information on each of the contacts in each of the districts. Once you have got the information that you need from a district or two, you can return to me, and I will share what I have uncovered about the red mages in exchange. I believe this is fair. Though, and he kind of looks down at Brina. Though your group has many skills, and I believe one of you may have skills that perhaps would involve them working closer with the palace. Little one, you have a gift of magical understanding. You are the one who used the scroll against the 7 deaths, yes? Yep, that was me. Brina looks a little bit nervous. We have other scrolls and arcane texts here that need deciphering. Some of which we have liberated from remains of Clan Ushbek from back in the day, from centuries ago or decades ago. Clan Ushbek, we believe, some of them became red mages, so perhaps deciphering these documents may help give information about the red mages. If you were willing to spend the time to do this, if your compatriots did not mind, this would be information that would be useful to your friends and to us. And she just kind of turns to the rest of you. Her eyes light up like a library? That's... I mean, that sounds really useful, but you guys, it's whatever you... I don't want to let you down. It's... What do you think?
Oh, follow your nose. I raise my trunk.
Could I, she turns to the king, could I, would I be able to take the texts to my lodgings in the city? Oh, these are very old, one-of-a-kind documents. We would not want falling into the wrong hands. If it is all the same to you, we'd prefer that you study them here. By all means, you can use the palace quarters if you wish to stay here, or else you just have to make the trip between the palace and wherever you are staying in the city. Just do not take the text with you. We cannot allow that. We cannot allow these to fall into the wrong hands. Okay. Well, I don't want to leave the rest of you, so I guess I should... If you're still staying in the tavern, I could still sleep in the tavern. I'll just spend my time in the day here at the palace, looking at the documents. And then I can tell you what I find
idea.
when we have dinner. That is, if you get in at a decent hour.
Just look at Brukon.
Look at Brukon.
It's the 3 a.m. to bed.
Very well. Well, thank you, King Zandak. And she goes prostrate on the ground, properly bowing down. Please, you do not need to do this. You are the pit champions. You are you don't need to do this so much. Okay. I believe Commander Bolt is waiting in his office, his place of operations, by the Docklands Gate. You will meet him there. I trust this is enough information for you so far. Are you satisfied with what I have given you about the Red Mages?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
It's an excellent start, Your Grace.
Indeed. And I hope it will not be the last. See what you can find out. I will see what I can find out. We both have our sources, and we both know what we have to do next. So, I trust we will not be meeting again until such times as we have uncovered more information, yes?
Excellent. Sounds good.
Good.
Hope so.
Good. Thank you. You can send my advisor back in when you leave. Good luck.
Farewell.
Bye.
I hope the 7 go with you. Mala, you would understand the 7 refers to the 7 dragon gods rather than the 8.
Yeah, it's not that he can't
missing
count.
one.
He's not enumerate. He's just a heathen.
All right.
Holy shit, we left Neris in town.
Yeah, Neris is in town shopping. So as you guys turn to leave...
I don't think she'd mind.
As you guys turn to leave the throne room with all of that information, we're going to call an end to today's session. So next time we'll pick up as you guys leave the palace, presumably heading towards Balthazar Bolt, unless there was anything else you want to do in the city. But the world is your oyster, team. And quite a few reveals in this session. Thank you very much for today. It's been really good fun. And on the subject of, I think on Sunday was World Mental Health Day. I have to say, I cannot recommend enough jumping in with TTRPGs and this kind of escapism that you get with these kind of things. I mean, I've been so invested with the session today, I've completely forgot about all the other stuff that I was thinking about when I came into today's session, which is just a lovely feeling to have. So anyway, if you have not picked up D&D before, I hope this may have encouraged you to do so from seeing the shenanigans that these guys have been up to today. It's a great hobby to get into. Yes, we cannot recommend it enough. And of course, other RPGs are available that are just as good. But anyway, thank you all for today. We'll be back in 2 weeks for our Halloween special, which, fingers crossed, will have many of us in the flesh. In one room for the first time in in over a year, which is very exciting.
Flesh. Meaty bodies.
Gosh.
Anyway,
I tried to make it weird. You succeeded. Nice one.
Before I want to get this on record on the stream before we end. All 4 of you can have can have inspiration, fantastic role playing, and some fantastic moments in today's session. Inspirational round. Let's go. All right.
Anyway, really inspired right now.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. As I said, we're back in 2 weeks' time. Follow us already, if you're not already, at slice&d6 on all the socials and things. And we'll see you next time. Until then, be well, stay safe. Bye.
See ya. Bye.